Go ahead and call the Tuesday, March 4th meeting to order. At this time, I'd ask you to rise for our invocation and our pledge, led by our City Attorney, Mr. Tom Trask.
Heavenly Father, seek blessings on the tasks before us. Bless our efforts with clear insight, our deliberations with wisdom, our work with clarity and accuracy, and our decisions with impartiality. We pray that our work this evening will find favor in your sight. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and once again, welcome. It's hard to believe we're already into March. Our first item is going to be our Citizens Open Forum, but while everybody's here, I'll probably announce it again. March 13th through May 8th is the Janice Miller Citizens Academy, and we have about, how many spots do we have left?
About 7.
About 7 spots. If you've never done it, it is, how many weeks? 9? A 9-week program. You get to go to various departments in the city and learn about the city and the city staff, and if you've never done it, it's a great experience. I did Citizens Academy too, and I feel like I need to do it again because I didn't get to do half the fun stuff that everybody else gets to do now. So there's actually forms out front, or you can see Kathy, and she can help you out on that. But it's a lot of fun. It's free. We feed you hopefully every night. It's on Thursday nights? Thursday night. So information outside on that. Our first item is our Citizens Open Forum, where you get a chance to address the council. We only have a couple of rules. One, that you don't address anything that's on the council tonight. Also, that you state your name and address clearly for the record, and that you keep it to no more than 5 minutes. Having said that, we'll start over on this side. Gary? Oh, I see you back there.
Gary Cousin, up at Bay Chamber of Commerce, 101 State Street. Just want to say we're getting ready for our 53rd annual Oldsmar Days and Nights Festival, which includes, it's March 28th, 29th, and 30th, which includes Oldsmar's only annual parade on March 29th. So we'd like to invite any community group, church, whatever you got that would like to be in that parade, just to contact us and get in the parade. We like to have, every year we like to see it grow, and it is a community event. So you have a great old car, great old truck, whatever you want to do, get in that parade. It's definitely a community parade. So
Golf cart, bicycle, whatever.
That's whatever you want to do. Apparatus is fine. We're ready. Just contact us, let us know you're going to be there.
Thank you. Loretta?
Doing fine, thank you. Good evening. Loretta White, 601 Shore Drive East. I have a couple of items. The first one I've been noticing since I live there on the street. Shore Drive is in bad need of striping. Do we have that in the public works in the future or anything? It's really faded out in some areas. You can't even tell it's there.
We'll take a look at it, sure.
Okay, that would be nice. I wanted to make a couple of comments, but I see you have it under item number 10 on the appointment to council seat too. Should I wait till then to make the remarks?
I haven't decided yet if it's going to be open to the public. It's not a public item, so.
Well, should I do it now or?
No, because it's on the agenda.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep. Oh, are you getting up to speak? Dan?
Yep. Dan Saraki, 1743 Split Fork Drive, Oldsmar, Florida. Good evening, Doug. Good evening, City Council. Good evening, Vice President of the Oldsmar Toastmasters, Ann and Kathy. I'm here to
Tom
see...
Trask.
Oh, Tom. Good evening, guys. Wow. I'm here tonight to talk about the Oldsmar Toastmasters. That is a public speaking group of people that meets right here in this room, on Wednesday mornings, 8 a.m., and the goal of the citizens and the people of Oldsmar is to improve their public speaking skills, to not be afraid to talk in social environments. When I started Toastmasters in December of 2012, we had 8 members. Today we have over 30. Our group is growing. I'm VP of membership, and I'm here to invite people in the community to sign up for Toastmasters and meet us. There's 2 special events going on right here in this room. Wednesday morning on March 12th, we're having a speech contest. It's an international speech contest. Each contestant will get up to 5 minutes to speak about anything they want. Then we're also having a table topics, which is impromptu speaking where they can talk about, they're going to be asked a question, and they answer a question, they have 2 minutes to answer it. Then, on Saturday morning, which is the 15th, we're having the regional contest right here. All other groups around the Tampa Bay area will be in this room competing to go to the next level. And I just want to make sure that everyone knows that our Toastmasters group is growing, and we're trying to build more membership. And does anybody have any questions?
Is there like an email address that people should reach out to if they're interested, or just show up?
I would just show up, 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, and then Saturday morning it's 9 o'clock.
Okay.
It is a great event. I didn't really even know what it was because of the name, Toast and Masters. I had no idea that it was about public speaking, but I got invited to speak it there. And I think if I understand the tabletops segment properly, I would say something like, if you could be a fish, what kind of fish could you be?
Exactly. And you have to answer that.
I'm waiting for your answer.
I know, I was going to say, what's your answer?
Oh, I'd be a shark. I'd be eating everything. I love food.
Thanks. We
All
appreciate
right.
it. Yep.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Dan.
Anybody else on this side? Yep. Babe. The haddock.
It's a tasty fish.
Hey, great. It's been a long time, but you all look lovely as ever. I wonder if someone could light a fire under Hillsborough County to stripe Racetrack Road, since it is a racetrack.
What's the sign of Racetrack Road now? Come on.
They own the whole thing, Hillsborough County does. And the yellow line, the double yellow line down the middle is practically gone. And I know that's their road, so that they have to do it. And I'm also on the Code Enforcement Board, and I certainly see a lot of violations around our fair city, but Mr. Trask and I, we never have any meetings, so what's going on?
When did he start? We did get a new code enforcement officer, so we were a little bit behind, and he's getting up to speed, but that should be corrected.
Yeah, but this month's meeting has been canceled.
Okay.
Yes,
For no
it
agenda
has.
items.
Yes, it's been canceled for
He
this
is working
month.
hard, and properties are coming into compliance.
Are
That's
they?
the reason.
That's the good thing.
Oh, well, that's wonderful, but they aren't doing very fast, coming into compliance too fast. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Y'all have a good evening.
Thanks, you too. How about this side of the room? Nobody on that side, the biggest one, and I thought it would be. Okay, we'll close the citizens' open forum. Our first item is the consent docket. 3 items: approve the minutes of the February 4th, 2014 City Council meeting. Second item, approve a 1-year contract extension with Airgas Carbonic Incorporated for CO2 purchase. Item 3, authorize the city manager to advertise requests for qualifications, RFQ 2014-03 for land surveying. Anybody wish to pull anything?
No.
Nope. Seeing nobody, like a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Thank you. Next is the City of Oldsmar. First is the presentation of the business of the ward and business of the quarter, and I will do that. Jackie Parquar.
And Marlena Fleeter.
And guest. They are with Hampton Inn. The beautiful Hampton Inn. Welcome. Yeah. No, you can't touch it yet. You get disqualified. Christmas, weren't you?
I'm terrible at public speaking.
There you go. Well, good. We're going to put you on the spot tonight. We do this once a quarter. It's the business of the quarter, and this time it is Jackie and the group at Hampton Inn. And who's with you?
This is Marlena Fleeter. She's the general manager.
Marlena.
I'm accepting the award on behalf of Paul Seymour.
Oh, good. I don't know if you've been to the Hampton Inn, but it's one of the latest. I got to do the ribbon cutting and have been to several events in there, and got to visit some of the rooms, and it's really not your average hotel. It's really nice, and as are all the hotels in Oldsmar. I mean, we really pride ourselves on having some great facilities here. On March of this quarter, the Hampton Inn and Suites, it is my honor and pleasure to present the award to Paul Simone. Why am I nervous? Simone Development and Management Corporation. The Hampton Inn is the newest and most feature-rich of Oldsmar's growing hospitality industry. Holy cow. In addition to all the conveniences, modern technology, the Hampton Inn has added Oldsmar's largest conference and banquet option with a facility capable of accommodating 250 guests. That capability has already been instrumental in hosting several functions for Congressman Bilirakis and key government leaders, as well as community and chamber functions. From its ribbon cutting, the Hampton Inn has been a successful commercial project and outstanding community resource. For its part, Mr. Simone has been highly instrumental in the growth of Oldsmar this century. Paul opened our first hotel, the Holiday Inn Express, in 2000. In 2006, he opened the Hilton Garden Inn as part of the Park Avenue Plaza development. And last year, of course, he added the lovely Hampton Inn and suites to Oldsmar's high-quality and growing hospitality industry. Paul Simone Development and Management Group have not only been excellent business partners in the city, but they have also been outstanding community supporters. Led by the Hampton Inn, Mr. Simone's management team has done a few things: sponsored activities at Tampa Bay Downs since 2006, supports American Cancer Society, supported an Eastlake Woodlands Golf Charity event for brain cancer, Eastlake Band School Boosters, developed and donated services to building a batting cage at Clearwater Central Catholic School, and also part of Big Cat Rescue. It is indeed my honor and pleasure to recognize the Hampton Inn and Suites and Paul Simone and staff as our 2014 Business of the Quarter for their leadership and hospitality.
All right.
And I do, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys might know, you actually opened like about a week early, is that correct, to accommodate like a big baseball tournament, I think?
Or a year late.
Oh, okay. All right, here you go. This is where you get to tell us about you.
I don't need a microphone. Yeah. That's where I get really.
Thank you and congratulations.
Really, it's a pleasure to be in the community. We really appreciate all of our partnerships together, and come check us out. If you need a room, just not tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I thought we were. I'm the shy one. Can you move a little bit to that way?
Oh, me? Oh, you? Oh, okay.
There you go. Rub shoulders with the mayor. Thank you.
It's a good thing, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
We're talking about photo bombs.
Oh, photo bomb.
We're always trying to get out of the photos. So we're not photo bombing it.
All right. Our next item is the presentation of the feasibility study and economic impact for BMX Supercross track. And Jeff Clark is here with a guest, Eric Sullivan.
Introduce Eric Sullivan with the Sports Facilities Advisory. He's here to present the feasibility study and economic impact for the Oldsmar BMX.
Yes. Mr. Mayor, Council, thank you for having me tonight. Jeff, thank you for the introduction. As Jeff shared, I'm with the Sports Facilities Advisory. We are an organization that helps municipalities, private and public organizations build, operate, and manage sports, recreation, fitness, and entertainment facilities. So we were employed by the City of Oldsmar to conduct a feasibility and economic impact report on the proposed Supercross track to see if it would meet the economic goals set forth by the city. Just to give you a little bit of background on the project itself, we conducted a thorough market study as part of the economic impact and feasibility study, as well as 5-year financials, so a ramp-up period of financial forecast, startup costs, and then 5 years of operations. To do this, we worked closely with representatives from the City of Oldsmar, Oldsmar BMX, the nonprofit organization that's currently maintaining and operating the current track, USA BMX, and the St. Petersburg Clearwater Sports Commissioners. The project findings in a high-level summary were that at a startup cost of $1.3 million, the project has the opportunity to be at a break-even operationally as of its second or third year, depending on the programming of the facility, with a surplus of $18,000 to $45,000 generated by the park. Now, at the operational level, that's to serve the local and regional communities. At the national level and at the local level, by the regional and national events and international events it can host, we conducted 2 economic impact forecasts. The first being if we were to attract the World's event, and the second if we were to not attract the World's event. This is a very high-level event, very expensive to attract, but something the commissioners, as far as the sports commissioners, are very interested in attracting to the community. The economic impact without Worlds is somewhere between $2 to $3 million between the first and fifth year ramp up, and it's between just over $4.5 million if we were to track that event in year 3. So with that, based on the startup cost, the operational break even, and the current management structure and operational structure of the track, we did warrant this project feasibility yes, that it does meet the city's needs and the organizational needs and reaches the economic impact goals. We invite you all to read the study. My understanding is it will be made public so that everyone can get into every level of detail in the analysis, and I certainly welcome any questions related to the study.
Thank you. Any questions?
Well, I got a comment.
Okay.
This feasibility study y'all did is incredible.
Yeah.
If this doesn't turn somebody's eyeballs from the Pinellas County, then they're blind.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, we've been sharing this feasibility study, and the city manager mayor tour has been hitting every elected official that we can. Talking about it, it's exciting. We're on the March 19th agenda for the TDC, and that's followed by, I believe, is that correct, April 1st? Is that April 1st meeting with a joint meeting of the TDC and Pinellas County Commission. So we feel really good about it. If you brought a check for $1.1 million right now, I would be happy. We could just move on. But I think what you've done is great, and it really shows the impact that this facility is going to have on the whole area, really. So we're excited about it. Thank you. Any other questions?
I have a comment as well.
Yeah.
That's okay. I want to second Jerry, Councilmember Beaverlands. It's fantastic. I really enjoyed reading this one. And I was, it is definitely what everybody's doing is definitely getting to South County, because I have some friends on the St. Pete City Council, and I was out to dinner with one of them, and he was telling me, what is this I hear about? What is this? And he was like, he wanted to know all about it because he had heard about it and us requesting the money and everything. And when I explained it to him, he goes, oh my God, that's a fantastic idea. So it's getting around the whole county. It's not just here. And I like in your summary how you did note that the Sarasota coming up with one, the Sarasota Commission has already offered $1 million to have one there. And at first I thought, oh, that's terrible. But now I think it's good, because it's kind of now giving us a little bit of ammunition or a little bit of push to the commission to give us the money.
That's right.
So, yeah.
It's important, and one of the comments that we've had, along with this feasibility study, is that Sarasota County is probably moving forward. They're not sanctioned by, or not going to be sanctioned by the USA BMX. But having said that, as Bruce and I have talked to the other elected officials, if in a year from now, we're still sitting here twiddling our thumbs and not having a track, I would venture to say that USA BMX would potentially look at, a facility that exists, because they want to build one, they want to have one in Florida, and they want it to be in Oldsmar. So hopefully come the 19th, and then subsequently on the 1st, we will have some funding. I think because they're doing a joint meeting, Bruce and I talked about it today, because they are having a joint meeting, it looks like they want to take some action. So we've gotten nothing but positive feedback. It just doesn't fit into a kind of one of the TDC's normal buckets of funding, and so we're trying to classify the bucket, and I think the national sanctioning is really something that pushes it to the next level in the events that your study talked about. So if there's no other questions, I'd like to thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you. And if I could, just in closing, we really do see this as a great opportunity. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but from the standpoint of the opportunity, in the last 11 years, we've done over $4 billion these developments around the world, and we're located right in Clearwater, so here in the county, and the opportunity to see something like this happen in our backyard, we're really excited about. So if there's anything that we can do to further help the study or to help conversations with the county, state representatives, or whoever it may be, certainly let us know.
Yep, thank you. Thank you.
Oldsmar is the epicenter of this area.
Hub. It's now being referred to as the hub.
Well, we're epic.
Thank you. Thank you.
I like the word
Epicenter.
epicenter. It sounds more gigantic.
Yeah.
Disastrous.
Yeah.
Well, that's hey, listen.
That's an earthquake.
That's
an
okay
earthquake
too.
and
That's right. We are an earthquake.
We're shaking the earth, huh?
You got that right.
One biker at a time.
And I don't think this council will ever let that BMX track escape us.
No, we won't. That's all I have on receive. Oldsmar, City Attorney.
I have nothing tonight.
Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, consider approval of a name change, establishing a name for the annual fishing tournament, the Bob Seymour Jr. Memorial Fishing Tournament. And this request was initiated by some residents. I think it was a January council meeting when they came and presented the request and gave some background. The request went to the Leisure Services Advisory Board, and at their meeting in February, they concurred with the request and recommended that the council establish this in memory of Mr. Seymour.
Yes!
They did, but
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Especially you.
First of all,
No, actually you.
we haven't done it yet.
everybody who you are, okay?
My name is Tom Peterson. I was born and raised here. I've been here so long, that man has paddled my butt.
Now sit down.
That's funny.
I make the motion, we adopt this.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. His brother Alan is here, and Bob is. Yep. Thank you. Yep. It's awesome, and he's going to be watching over that fishing tournament, so make sure it's a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Mayor and council, the next item, consider adoption of resolution 2014-04, revising the parking fee for the Mobbly Bayou Wilderness Preserve South Support Area. This also was a recommendation from the Leisure Services Advisory Board. The change is to the rate charge for weekends and holidays. It would be reduced from $10 a day to $5 a day. I'll read the resolution by title only. This is Resolution 2014-04, a resolution of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, establishing a fee schedule for parking within the Mobbly Bayou Wilderness Preserve South Support Area, providing for the repeal of Resolution 2009-15 and providing for an effective date hereof. That is the reading of Resolution 2014-04 by title only. I recommend its adoption. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to respond to those.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Nope. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor and council, item 8, consider adoption of a resolution revising plan review and building permit fees. This was discussed at the last regular council meeting 2 weeks ago. The fees had not been revised for about 7 years. And so in reviewing what the fees are, we also evaluate what our neighbors are charging for similar services and fees, and we try and stay in the ballpark with them. So I think the increases that were proposed are pretty moderate. I'll read the resolution by title only. A resolution of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, repealing Resolution 2006-26, providing for the adoption of revised permit, inspection, and plans examination fees in accordance with Section 3.5.8 of the City of Oldsmar Land Development Code and providing for an effective date. That is the reading of Resolution 2014-05 by title only. I recommend its adoption. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to respond to those.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Passes 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor and council, the next item, consider status of public art project. This is a project the council recently held a work session regarding the project, and I think, well, it was also discussed at the end of the last meeting that I think the consensus was that you'd like to take a new direction with this project. So what I'm looking for this evening is a motion to cancel the public art project that we had discussed, or the council had discussed within the CRA, and we'll take it up what direction you want to go at another meeting.
Okay. Yeah, and it's just to cancel this particular component, not cancel the art in public places that we need to do and allocate the money. We had some discussion about it. Does anybody else wish to have any further discussion on it? It has been discussed with the artist, and I've talked with Bruce, and we all felt that there should be some compensation, and Bruce is going to coordinate that with her, something that's fair and reasonable. We know that she did not, while she did not have a contract with us to do the initial, preliminary work. I think we all feel that she did put some effort forward, and so he can coordinate that with her. Any other thoughts on what it is? And like he said, we don't need to necessarily discuss where we're going tonight, but I think we just need to put our thinking caps on and kind of review this item again and see where we go with that. So
My only concern was that Robin gets compensated.
yeah.
That's my only concern, and that we do still move forward with it.
Yeah, we will, and it really is not a reflection of, I think, her, certainly, we've seen her work, but I think it's more of a reflection of, I'm not sure we know exactly what it is that we're looking to do and where and to what level and things like that. So I guess I might need a motion, is that what you said?
I would suggest just a motion to cancel the public art project previously discussed for the town center.
Got it.
Got a motion, second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Passes 4-0, thank you. City clerk.
Oh, I don't have anything tonight.
Did I startle you?
You did.
If you were a fish, what would you be?
Be a grouper.
Nice.
Starfish.
Bruce, chime.
Oh, you're so sweet, Tom.
Fish.
Bruce did chime in off the record with he would be a haddock. So, boom, boom.
I got all y'all beat.
Feasibility at Toastmasters.
Okay, now the fun start. The next item is City Council, and our first item is to appoint Council Seat 2. This is something that we discussed at the last meeting. We have a certain time frame to do that. This is not necessarily a public item, but I know, Loretta, you seemed like you wanted to mention something? Okay, I'll allow it.
Loretta White, 601 Shore Drive East. I was listening to the last meeting, and Jim Roniker's name come up, and I thought, a no-brainer. But I wanted to just give a couple of reasons why I think he would be a great person to serve up there. First of all, he doesn't need on-the-job training. Jim's been with the city. All he's got to do is hit the ground running. He doesn't have to relearn everything. He knows what went on in the past, and he knows the businesses here in Oldsmar, which makes it a real plus for him. And I think he's won every time that he's ran. I don't think he's ever lost an election, which is also a plus for him. And he's never walked off the job in the middle of his term either, and I like that. So this is no reflection on anyone else, but I just think Jim is a real good citizen in Oldsmar. He's done a lot when he was mayor, and he did a lot when he was on the city council. So I would hope that the council would consider him. Thank you.
Thank you. And two, I know there were, are you just getting up? Okay, being a gentleman. I've had some discussion with at least the two people that we talked about, Eric and Jim. I've had multiple discussions, including today, and personally, I think they're both great candidates. There was some question about the article that was written, and that it was presumptuous that Eric was the one to be selected, and I don't think clearly that was the intent of the article. I mean, I think the intent of the article was to report what the conversations were with the respective parties. Both parties, Jim and Eric, and even myself, indicated that this is not about campaigning. It's not about, they've both, as Loretta has described, they both have, proven themselves. I wouldn't say that Eric necessarily walked off the job. It wasn't by his choice. It was really, he could have been paralyzed had he not had the surgery to his spine. And there was also a comment about him kind of being gone, and I just want to make it pointed out that, and I'm not campaigning for anybody, and I'll tell you the rest of it, but he does serve on the code enforcement? No, firefighter, Board of Adjustments and the Firefighter Pension Board. And he has continued to do that, and when asked, he stepped forward and did that. When I first thought about it, and that's the only reason, I think, first of all, they're all friends of mine. Both of them are friends. We hang out together, we have dinner together, and both of them are very honored to be asked to fill Janice's spot. I've had conversations with Ruben. He thinks that that Janice would also be very appreciative of, she had mentioned, or Ruben had mentioned on her behalf, Eric. And I'll tell you mine, and I like both of them, and I think both of them would be great candidates to fill this spot. And I think it also fills the spot in the way that we as a council would like to do it, whereas it doesn't give somebody an unfair advantage that would like to run. So I think they accommodate that. They've got the experience. It's not like you're starting a new 3-year term, again, as Loretta stated. And, you know, there is no upstart. As you know, and everybody knows, there's an upstart. They don't have that issue. And the reason I went to Eric and that I would have gone to Jim is I went to Eric because I really, in the conversations that I had with other people, and including Jim, he indicated that he didn't have any intentions on, you know, being back on council, either as a council member or a mayor. A little bit different scenario, being asked to fill a spot. So that was my personal reason for going to Eric, because he was the other. I think they're both equally qualified and would do a great job and fill the spot. And so I went to Eric, and that's the reason that I've stayed with that, is because I went to him first. I asked him, and he said yes. That's it and only it. It has nothing to do with not having Jim. I've got to be the mayor of whoever is up here. As I said, when Gabby ran against Dan and Suda, you know, I'm happy with any of them because we all got to be up here and work together. So having said that, I don't know anybody else's thoughts. We've had 2 weeks to think about it. And
Has Jim reconsidered being appointed?
he hasn't really said that directly. He hasn't said that he would throw his hat back in the ring, but he did say that if he was asked to do it, I talked to him today, both Eric and he did say if he was asked to do it, that he would. And the story was written, and you could almost say it was presumptuous because there were really only two viable candidates, and one said he was, removing his hat from the ring. So that only leaves, it's simple math, 2 minus 1 is 1. So, and that's that. I've talked to Jim about the county commission. They've approached him for that. They've approached him for the school board. He hasn't decided what he's going to do. He's kind of waiting on the city council to see what they want to do, but he may in fact decide to run for the county commission. He's not sure. So, I mean, I think anybody, I had a lunch with Mayor Eggers today of Dunedin because he's running for county commission. And I think, having somebody that has served in the city, I don't know county commissions that have been filled by a mayor recently anyway, but I know Susan was a school board member and other people with various walks of life, but I think it would be great to have somebody that has served a city, be it Dave or Jim, but I'll open it up to you guys now.
Well, I'm going to talk about this a little later after council comments about how we fill a seat. The process kind of in my opinion, got convoluted at the last meeting. I've been through this thing 5 times, and it's never worked out like this. And I think there should be a resolution or some kind of guideline to go by how we do this. Because you don't bring somebody up later on and then vet them. I mean, they're already vetted.
Yeah, they've proven themselves, yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't throw in, Jim's not going to run for county commission. The county commission seat is going to be so convoluted. So convoluted, he's not going to run for that. I would suggest, other than keep going on with this, is put one of them up, and if it doesn't work, then put the other one up and see if that one works, other than just keep conversation here.
You mean what? Put them up as in make a motion?
Right.
I can't make motions, but.
Well, I will make a motion that we accept Jim.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Well, you want more discussion?
Oh, discussion? You can. Yeah, I haven't asked you about.
Go
me?
ahead, Noah.
I don't know both of them. I know Jim, but I do know Eric to be a very reasonable person. I mean, we're Facebook friends, and so you learn a lot by what people.
It's on Facebook. It's true.
Well, you can learn a lot about somebody because of how reasonable they are, and he's very reasonable. But I know Jim. I know he's served for 10 years, and the last conversation I had with him, I concur with Jerry. He is not going to run for county commission. He told me that there were just too many candidates and it just cost too much money. So,
and I'll tell you,
but whether he does or not, I don't know. But that was the last conversation.
And I know and I had a conversation with him about an hour and a half before the meeting, 2 hours before the meeting,
okay.
And I know originally he was not going to run, and I know you've talked to him, and originally he wasn't going to run because Neil was going to run, and he didn't want to run against Neil.
Neil is running.
Neil is not running.
Oh, I thought
no,
Neil was
Neil
running.
Brickfield withdrew his name from the candidate.
He did?
Yes. So, and that he said, I mean, originally he was like, if Neil runs, I'm not going to run, but if Neil doesn't, I might consider it. That's the conversation I had, and the conversation I had today was that he wasn't sure. He was really waiting to hear what happened today.
Let me tell
Well, I
you
just
this.
lean
There
toward
are
Jim
two more
only. I
people.
just lean toward Jim because he did serve with Janice for 10 years. He's more up to speed. And all due respect to Eric, that's my feelings.
That's fine. Yeah, you were going to say?
There was two more people have called that's going to jump into the county commission races even.
It's gonna
Two
be
more
more.
people?
Yeah, two more people, and one of them going to contact you, and it's going to be more convoluted than you can possibly imagine.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Gabby?
I mean, I like both Jim and Eric, and I think they would both do a fine job. You know, I hear what you said earlier about kind of Ruben's wishes, so, but I think Jim would do a great job.
I mean, I think, and the reason I say that, I just stuck with Eric because he's the one that I went to because I didn't really think Jim had an interest in it in all conversations that we'd had previously. Again, that's not the role that he's being asked to do. He's not being asked to run or to replace or anything like that. So we have a motion and a.
Can I have one more comment?
Yeah, sure.
Someone is going to sit in that seat. No one is going to fill
I agree.
what Janice had.
No way.
No one can take one iota away from her record of what she has done for this city. She established herself, and we're going to help establish her. What she has done, she has proven herself over and over and over and over and over. So this is not a matter of somebody taking Janice's seat. It is not.
No, I agree. It's the necessary evil thing that we have to do is to do this.
Janice's statue, with the help of Ruben, Janice's statue is in concrete and steel in this city.
Yeah, like I told Ruben before the meeting, I said, we're only appointing her seat where nobody's going to fill her shoes.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah. And, yeah, enough said. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Yay. Only because I stuck with Eric, so it's nothing against Jim, so. It passed 3-0? Or 3-1? Good, okay. I'm happy with Jim. That's fine with me. The next item is consider naming the Mobbly Bayou Wilderness Preserve, MBWP Dog Park, in the memory of Janice Miller. I think this is obviously when it's done being fixed. We will.
That's just, and Mayor, that speaks for itself.
Yeah. Need a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye. Passes 4-0.
Well, for sure, Eric, do that.
Item 12 is authorize temporary status program for art in public places.
Statues.
Oh, statues.
I did the same thing. When I read this, I
That's
was
the
like,
light.
what?
I even read it before, yeah. And Bruce, if you want to elaborate on that a little bit, please.
Yes, at a recent work session, the council heard a presentation. Actually, I think we'd heard or seen pictures of it before, of a program where the statues are placed in visibility or public areas for a temporary period of time. I don't remember if it was like 3 months or 6 months or whatever. Vicki Mills is the one who presented the program to the council. And at the work session, the comments were very favorable. So what this item, if you approve it tonight, basically the city would be saying, we approve the use of public property for this program. You're not authorizing any money or any financial commitment at this point. It would just be to say, we concur that our public property can be used for this program.
Okay, and what are you looking for from us?
It would be a motion to, approve the temporary statues program for art in public places.
With dates and times and everything to be worked out later and all that kind of stuff.
So moved.
Yeah.
So moved, a second, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes, thank you. Next is to approve the excused absence of Councilmember McGee. I think that's for April 1st, is that what it is?
Is that April Fool's Day?
Yep.
It is.
Yeah. This isn't a trick, is it?
No, I will be at a work event in Austin, so I will not.
Oh, Austin's nice.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second, yes.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes, thank you, 4-0. Next is comments by council. We'll start with Councilmember Norris.
Start with me. I don't really have a lot, and I do want to thank both of the gentlemen to step up to serve, because it's an honor to serve, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes most of the time it's just a joy to serve the citizens. It really is. So thank you both for stepping up. And I don't really have a whole lot. My life has been pretty calm for the last couple weeks. I've been keeping up with everything, and
Good.
that's it.
Councilmember McGee?
Just want to thank you guys for approving the absence, because I will be out of town that entire week for a work event. Excited to have Jim join at the next meeting, and do appreciate Eric and both Jim stepping forward. They both would have made fine candidates, so happy to have both of them. And it wouldn't be my council comments without a birthday. Unfortunately, that gentleman's not here tonight, but Lynn Reeves' birthday is coming up on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, right.
So the day before our next council meeting, so happy birthday to Lynn.
Lynn Reeves.
Lynn Reeves.
On St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
Beautiful wife's birthday.
Is it too? Oh, happy birthday to Wanda.
Councilmember, you done?
And I'm done. That's all I got.
Mr. Beaverland?
First of all, I want to wish my beautiful wife happy 58th anniversary, which is tomorrow.
Wow.
She deserves a medal.
I was just going to say the same thing.
I would not debate that at all. But you people that know my beautiful wife, she has been my stalwart all of our married life. She really has. As most of y'all know, I'm here, I'm there, I'm there, I'm
Here,
down here.
there.
Yeah, she's always like this. We've had some tragedy in our life, and she has always been my strength.
She's incredible.
Thank you, beautiful wife. I'll wish you happy birthday at the next meeting.
And so will Gabby.
I've asked this a couple of times. I guess I didn't ask it in the right way. Could I get how much that ball team or whatever they call them, how much do they pay us rent? I haven't gotten that yet.
Which ball team? The Little League or the?
USSSA.
Yeah, the traveling thing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
How much do they rent those things for? Now, number two.
I thought we got it.
I thought we had that. It was in that packet.
No, we had a big number, but that didn't tell me anything. I'm not that sophisticated. I want a number for each time they rent it, and then I can figure it out. The rec card, the soccer have a rec card. They buy a rec card, right?
They do.
And the football buys a rec card.
They do.
And the Little League buys a rec card.
That's right.
This guy doesn't buy a rec card, okay? And there's probably a reason why he doesn't. There's probably a good legitimate reason. I know the other teams do not rent the fields from us. In a way, they do rent the fields from us. Do they not?
Yeah, I think indirectly, yeah, they rent the fields from us. You're talking about the USA?
No, you're talking about the youth sports groups. Well, here's what I would say in addition to what you have already, just to elaborate, here's the distinction I would make. The youth sports groups have a use agreement or license agreement to use the city property.
I know there's a good reason for it.
And, they have a season, so it runs, beginning and ending. USSSA and others rent the fields for an hourly rate. Now, it might be a whole weekend, but we have written agreements in both cases. It's not the same thing. Y'all approve the use agreements with the sports leagues. The rental agreement, it could be anybody that comes along. It's basically first come, first serve if you want to rent them. Of course, the other thing is you can't rent it if it's in use by one of the sports leagues, so you're kind of, after them. But there's a legal distinction in addition to what you were talking about.
I agree with you on that, Esther. I want to tell y'all something. growing up, I had kind of a strange life, okay? I'm just explaining myself sometimes what I do. I stuttered one time so bad that when I was 7 or 8 years old, that you couldn't understand what I was saying. And one of my courses in college was to find out why I stuttered. Well, I won't go into all that. So sometimes when I'm talking to you, that's part of me, okay? It's not that I don't know what I'm talking about. If I get going too, my mind goes faster than my mouth can facilitate it. I just did it a few minutes ago so I'm explaining it to you. See this? That's why I do it. It goes back, way back, that stuttering thing. I understand, you're right about the ball field. I accept that. The only thing that bothers me is, can Little League charge for parking?
I suppose they could. I think that might be something we want to look at further. And if someone, I'm just thinking out loud, I mean, I think it would require, the council to make some revision to our fee schedule or the rental schedule or something, but my initial thought is that if there is an event and they're charged for parking, we probably ought to at least get a cut of that parking.
I agree with you. Even from this guy, we need to get a part of that parking. The only, and I won't talk any more about it, but see, these leagues have to charge these kids for a rec card, and this individual, whoever they are, don't charge for a rec card. I mean, it's.
Yeah, but I mean, if you recall the numbers, they were tenfold that what he gives us as compared to what
No, I don't know that. That's why I want it.
Well, it was $60,000.
I got the number. What the rent paid by USSSA for the last fiscal year was $67,500.
67,000.
$67,500.
Okay, can you give me how many days? Not right now. How many days that is?
Yeah, I don't have that with me.
No, I know you don't. But anyway,
But Jerry, aren't they already charging to get into the event? So if we charge for parking too, aren't we hitting the parents twice?
No, we're not doing it. He is. He is charging. He's
charging to park and to get into the event?
No.
Oh, okay.
He's only making one charge. And I don't want to get into that, but if he's going to do that, we ought to get part of it. This is the part for you, Tom. Oh, and I want to thank Eric also and Jim, both of them, because both of them are qualified. I mean, both of them are qualified. It's just, which gets me into this. I've done this 5 times, and it never worked out the way it did. And this is an educational thing, gang. What we should have done is pick somebody at the last meeting so they could be sworn in at this meeting. Now, this is how we've always done it. If somebody wants to run for council, I called it a ghost candidate, somebody that said, well, I'd like to go, but it kind of leaves you out in the wilderness somewhere. Well, somebody's told me that they want to run, but they haven't told me that they would run or they want to be considered. It shouldn't be that way. If they want to be considered, they should have said to one of us, I want to be considered, put my name in the hat. And then we could have decided at the last meeting, and then we wouldn't be going through this tonight. And I think if the city manager and the mayor and Tom get together and draft a resolution or draft something, so future councils and future how you started the last meeting was incredible. That was the way you should have started it. Which you did. I'm getting down here because I can't see. Which you did. And I think, well, somebody said they might want to run. I shut up.
No.
At the last meeting because I didn't want to convolute it. If somebody wants to run or to be appointed, tell me now, and then I'll put your name in. And then we could have done this at the last meeting.
Well, and I mean, I think in all fairness to to Gabby and Linda, they had not been through this process before.
know that.
And so, and maybe the explanation would have been better, you know, via email or at the previous one so that everybody was prepared. We also, as I recall, you've been through 5 of them. I've been through 1 or 2. I can't. It typically has only been one person that really has, you know, it was like when Eric stepped down, you know, somebody just said Ed Manny and we all agreed on it and we moved on. But in this particular case, we had.
Well, we could have done the same thing at the last meeting.
Except I don't know that it would have been fair to them because they.
No, that's why I shut up.
Yeah, because they hadn't had a chance to even speak to them if they wanted to.
That's why I'm bringing it up tonight.
Right.
So everybody will have that when it happens again.
And I don't know, I talked to you about procedurally, I don't know that we can dictate preferences, but maybe Tom can chime in on.
Well, it's kind of like what we do when we look at the city manager's salary. There's a resolution that we adopted, and the city clerk's salary. We did the same thing for that, and it basically was to give some direction to the council. But of course, you can ignore your resolutions. I wouldn't suggest that, but and you could set it aside, or you could repeal them as you go along the way. But we could definitely draft a resolution. It would be difficult, of course, to add it to the charter. It would require a referendum.
Yeah, because that's what I had thought. Is there any way to?
I think that the only thing that speaking just for myself, I take your points, Jerry, and I agree with some of them. The thing that I should have known ahead of time, which reading the part of the charter prior to the meeting last week the part of this charter didn't tell me that one of the suggestions was previous council, because I did have a candidate that was interested, but she didn't meet the previous council experience. So I immediately went to thinking about the other 2 candidates. So I think all we need to do is, those of us that haven't been through it, is just be clear on what it is that are the suggestions or the parameters. I don't know about doing an ordinance and all of that, a charter review.
And that was my question.
All.
I asked to Bruce, and I guess maybe, is it clear? I mean, can we make suggestions as opposed to guidelines? I mean, suggestions are somewhat, okay. That's what I thought all along. If we
that would be better than changing the charter and doing an ordinance.
Recommendations,
and
okay. If we can put it in somewhat writing.
I'd say it's a suggestion, and that's what it was taken as. And I don't think that someone, just because they don't have previous council experience, wouldn't be able to do a good job. As speaking for myself, you know, coming on the first day, I think that I was, you know, ready to get started.
Sure.
And so it's a suggestion, and I agree. Secondly, the candidate that I had mentioned, unfortunately, I hadn't had the opportunity to speak to them prior to the meeting, and that's why I didn't feel comfortable voting, because I wanted to give them the opportunity to decline or to say yes. But I think whether we had voted the last meeting or not, we still ended up voting on the same 2 candidates.
Right.
So for me, I don't necessarily see it as an issue, but I'm not opposed to the idea of, you know, kind of putting
And the reason
resolution
that, you know, we didn't do it tonight, and I had a discussion again with both of them, is because I toyed with the idea of having them come in, and I didn't want to do that. I think that, you know, that is disrespectful to them and their time that they've served. And so we're going to do it at the next meeting, and we'll also, I guess, pick the vice mayor at that point. Is that correct? We're going to do that? Okay.
Yes.
And I agree. I as you said, look at me, I got your thing going on now, stuttering. But to me, past experience is important, but the bigger thing to me was not having an interest to run at a future
Yes, absolutely.
thing. Because I've had a conversation with Dan, and he's doing a great job getting himself known in the community, and that's what it's about, because there's no bigger honor than to sit up here and know that the voters and the residents of Oldsmar voted for you, or at least enough to get you into the office. And so that's the bigger thing to me.
I agree.
Is that.
I agree.
Everybody starts knowing nothing.
Right.
I ran in 1970. I knew it all until I got elected. And I found out I didn't know anything.
Right.
And it's taken me, how many years, babe, Loretta, to find out that I may not know anything yet, but.
Have you actually reached that point?
Positive character trait for those of us to be able to say that we are teachable.
Yeah.
We come up here saying that we know everything, then that's the opposite. We don't. We have to be teachable.
I've always told you, sitting out there is one thing. Sitting up here, you really change your attitude quick, because now you're in the limelight. Now you're representing 14,000 people out there. You represented yourself. You can say whatever you want. When you're up here, everything changes.
Yeah. Anyway,
Y'all for who you are, that's it.
Can I pull a Jerry?
yeah, sure.
In honor of Janice, I was remiss in not mentioning the Organic Community Garden Open House this Saturday. It's, I believe, from 10 till 12.
Yep.
Is it from 10 till 12, Ruben?
Yep, at 11, we'll be having a ceremony for the Eagle Scout that built the shed.
Oh, nice,
So if
nice.
people
So
wanna
that would
come.
be a nice thing because Janet put a lot of time and energy into that. I'm going to go. And,
We'll have plants and seedlings and things like that for sale.
so we both forgot to mention it.
One
So
of Janice's
that's why I
goals-
had to butt in.
One of Janice's goals was to educate me how important that garden is.
Well,
It worked.
it worked good.
Of course,
Your
my-
garden bed, and we have there's some strawberries and Brussels sprouts and all kinds of things.
Well,
growing
I
in
look
there.
forward to attending, so I hope the public attends.
Hello?
That's it.
How
Sorry.
about you? You got anything else again? No. Just like to check in with you periodically. I don't have a lot. I just want to say in answer to, the thing, I've said this from the beginning, both candidates are great. I look forward to serving with Jimmy. He's a friend of mine. Eric is a friend of mine. But I had personally talked to Eric first, and he committed, and I wanted to stand behind that. And that it had nothing to do with Jim or not supporting Jim. So I think he'll be great. He's a great, representative for the community. He's well-known in the community. So, I think his year can be very effective on here. The other item I have is I was asked to be, I'm not sure, giving awards or something at this robotic conference or seminar.
Being part of the closing ceremony.
The closing ceremony at Nielsen for the robotic thing, and I can't do it. It's March 15th at Nielsen Media at noon. I don't know if anybody else can go to that and do it. I just don't know if I can commit because I may have to be on the radio that's a Saturday at noon, so I don't know that I can do it if anybody else.
I'll be in Vail.
It's March 15th.
Yeah, not this Saturday, next Saturday.
I can do it.
Okay. Yep. I just want, and if it works out that I can, I'll just show up and I won't crash the party. I'll just be there.
Well, then you can do it.
And I'll be there in
I'll
support.
just be your backup.
No, it's yours. You can do it. I'll just come and be supportive of the kids. So that's all I have. But also, don't forget again about the Janice Miller Citizens Academy. This is great. It's neat that it's got her name on it. She really took ownership of that thing, and we're proud of her, and we'll continue to do great things for Janice. But I don't have anything else, really. Anybody else? Tom? Bruce? Ann? Kathy? Seeing no, and I need a motion for the tentative agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.